I lost my legs to save Tina. Married for 3 years. She let her friends and family insult me. I questioned her. She impatiently rubbed her forehead. They're just stating facts. Back then, I didn't ask you to save me. Nobody asked if I wanted that. All my youthful admiration turned to ashes in that moment. That night, I spiked her milk with sleeping pills. When she was asleep, I cut off her legs, held her as she screamed in pain and fell asleep. When I opened my eyes, I was back 3 years ago, before the accident. Tina's quite something, sticking with a cripple for 3 years. You wouldn't understand, brother. Maybe Tina's got some special kink, you know? This cripple in bed. Heh, I say. Ben's scheming deeper, using one leg to tie Tina down for life. Laughter echoed from the hotel room. I stood outside, fists clenched, until the laughter stopped. Tina's low voice came through. All right, that's enough. Someone feigned surprise. No way, you're not really into that cripple, are you? After a pause, I heard, as if, I don't have a special kink. Face a cripple every day. It's annoying. If not for 3 years ago. Ben, what are you doing here? The door opened. Everyone looked at me. Mockery, sympathy, but no surprise. Tina had a moment of panic and guilt. She strode over with a voice full of blame. You know your situation, so why are you here? I sat in the wheelchair and met her eyes, silently held up my phone. You told me to come. An hour ago, Tina texted me, said she drank too much, to pick her up. Tina pushed me into the room, closed her eyes and sighed. Are you satisfied? The guy who mocked me raised his hand with a smirk. Sorry, Ben. We were just joking. Wanted to see how much you cared for Tina. He said they used her phone to send the text, just to prove I loved her. Their condescension was clear. I looked blankly at Tina, who seemed to have known all along. I didn't think you'd actually show up. She read my mind, helplessly rubbed her forehead. You two think about it. Even if I drink too much, a driver, friend, anyone could take me home. What can you do? I followed her eyes to my legs. What could I do? Probably just rush out in my wheelchair after getting the text. Bother the driver to lift me into the car. Now thinking back, I was really foolish, rushing to become a joke in their eyes. Since nothing's wrong, I'm leaving. I lowered my head, wheeling out of there. Someone stretched their leg to block me. Ben, don't leave so soon. Come have a drink. They handed me a drink, but I'm allergic to alcohol. I looked at Tina again. She chose silence. Facing all those watching eyes, I silently took the drink. Haha, that's Ben for you. Whoa! Someone gasped because I had thrown the drink in their face. What are you doing? I set the wheelchair to electric mode, mercilessly rolled over that blocking foot. Behind me were voices cursing me. I ignored them, graciously closed the room door behind me. Tina caught up, scolding endlessly. Ben, don't overdo it. They're my friends. She reached to grab me, but I blocked her. They're your friends, and I'm your husband. You protect friends, but ignore when your husband is insulted. Tina pursed her lips. That was her guilty conscience she was refusing to admit. I suddenly felt pointless, wheeled towards the front door. Until I reached the door, she caught up again. They are blunt, but what they said is the truth. Tina squeezed out words I didn't like to hear. I rubbed my wet eyes, kept my voice calm. Let's divorce. Tina froze. Rejected. No way. I can't divorce you. I looked at her puzzled. Why? I heard it myself. Clearly she doesn't like me. I used to let myself believe, despite her friends being unaccepting. She loved me, and that was enough. Hearing those words today, I realized how ridiculous I was. The night's chill was biting. Tina took off her jacket and put it on my lap. It's my fault. Those were drunken silly words. Don't believe them. We are not divorcing. Her minty scent surrounded me, and I couldn't hold back. She pushed my wheelchair through the bustling streets. I'll take you home. She pushed me slowly on the nighttime street. She was lost in thought, too lost to notice a bump in the path. I spoke up to warn her. A quick apology, then silence again. I began to speak. I hope you know, if you find it troublesome, if you don't love me, we can divorce. I liked Tina for 10 years, but that doesn't mean I'd cling. Tina's voice not too happy. I said we are not divorcing, Ben. I closed my eyes, said nothing more. Memories surged back. 3 years ago, the moment the lab ceiling collapsed, I instinctively pushed Tina away. I saved her, was struck unconscious. That day, I planned to confess to her, an answer for 7 years of secret love. When I woke from the coma, Tina's red eyes came into view. Ben, are you insane? Why interfere in things that aren't your business? I opened my mouth, realized my throat was terribly hoarse. I wanted to tell her it was okay, because I liked her, and to repay a debt. My parents died when I was young. Without her help, I'd have lived miserably. I tried to get out of bed for water, only then realized my legs were numb. Guilt deepened in Tina's eyes. She took my hand. I'll be your legs. Ben, let's marry. I admit, that moment, I was overwhelmed with happiness. Okay, Tina. Actually, I liked you for 7 years. Tina held my hand tight, silent. I instinctively ignored the hint of reluctance in her eyes. Waking up in the morning, Tina was gone. On the nightstand, a hot milk she left for me. Recently, work's been crazy at the company. Don't wait up for me for dinner tonight. I took a sip of milk. It was sweet, but I never liked sweet milk. A loud clatter came from outside the door, followed by someone yelling, "Bro, good morning." It was Mike. I sighed deeply, thinking, what a pain in the neck. Mike slung his arm around me, but his eyes were full of sarcasm. You're something else, always causing trouble for Tina. There were several key contacts at yesterday's drinking event that she needed to connect with, and you went and messed it all up for her. What do you plan to do about it, bro? I looked at Mike calmly. You can have Tina divorce me. After the thrill of happiness faded, I occasionally sensed Tina's helplessness too. She always keeps me at arm's length. Her friends weren't always like this with me. I get it. They're just voicing what Tina can't say. I've said it more than once. If it's about a life-saving debt, it's unnecessary. We can get a divorce. But she never agrees. Mike sneered. You don't think my sister's not divorcing you because she likes you, do you? He forcefully dragged me into a wheelchair. I struggled, but it was useless. What's a cripple like me going to do? He chuckled in my ear. Come on. I'll show you something interesting. The interesting thing Mike was referring to was Tina having a cozy date with another man. Through the glass of the couple's restaurant, I saw Tina tenderly fixing another man's hair by his forehead. The love in her eyes was almost overflowing. Mike smirked. See that? That's who my sister really likes. I didn't get it. Why doesn't she divorce me then? I'm not the one clinging on. Mike grumbled. Isn't it because you used saving her as leverage against my sister? If she divorces you, what would people think of her? An ungrateful person? Stop pretending to be generous. You planned all this. I don't understand why everyone thinks saving Tina was some calculated move on my part. I only lost my legs, whereas she lost her freedom. The people inside were too focused to notice me not far away by the window. I smiled, wheeling myself closer, and knocked on the glass gently. Mike was caught off guard. What are you doing? He asked, stunned. It was funny. He brought me here but only wanted me to sulk in silence. He couldn't stop me now. The two inside noticed us, surprise and panic crossing their faces. Tina quickly appeared before me. Ben, let me explain. She didn't know what to say and glanced disapprovingly at Mike. Who let you bring him here? Mike shrugged. I'm just looking out for my true brother. You two are the ones with history. I was dumbfounded. History. Back when I was about to confess and subtly ask Tina if she had a boyfriend, her answer was no. Otherwise, I never would have mustered up the courage. Ben, just go home. Tina scolded Mike briefly, then called a cab for me. Wait. I raised my hand to stop her. I want to chat with the gentleman inside. Ben? Tina frowned, unhappy. I gently took her hand. You'd better listen to me. Otherwise, I won't hesitate to yell homewrecker right here. I'm a disabled man. I've faced enough judgmental stares to be immune to them. The one's losing face will be you. Tina frowned even deeper, but she clearly cared about the guy inside. In the next moment, she wheeled me into the restaurant. Tina, is this your husband? The guy who saved you? The man seemed to know me. He rested his head on his hand and smiled at me. Hi, I'm Eric, Tina's first love. They act like they're not malicious, yet it's all malice. Tina, take Mike and sit over there. I want to chat with Ben, Eric said with authority in just a few sentences. Tina and Mike sat not too far away, watching us worriedly. Eric casually stirred his coffee. If it weren't for you, I'd be the one married to Tina. I didn't know. I told him, I've never seen you in her circle. I had no idea she had a first love. Eric lifted his head with a somewhat sorrowful look. We dated secretly because of my family. Tina said her family wouldn't approve, only Mike quietly supported us. For 2 whole years, we dated in secret. Before the accident, we were ready to confess to our families. Sadly, you got in the way. No wonder Mike was so bitter when he found out I was marrying Tina. But how is this my fault? I repeatedly confirmed if she was single. It was she who chose to hide it and later chose to marry me. Eric saw my thoughts and chuckled. Curious why she'd choose to marry you? I looked up at him, instinctively knowing this wouldn't be good. Because she found your secret love diary. Ben, Eric's tone was resentful. Of all times, she discovered it after you lost your legs and fell into a coma. In front of Tina's parents, and you say it wasn't intentional, Ben. My mind went blank. So she read my diary. Tina wanted to pretend she hadn't seen it. But her mother happened to see it first. The elders meant well. They watched me grow up. Our families were longtime friends. So that day, Tina's mom asked, "Do you like Ben?" They thought if both parties had feelings, it'd be a good match. Tina, misunderstanding it as pressure from them, decided, I'll marry him. She gave up on Eric under the pressure she thought was there and married me. Now I get it. I remembered how I excitedly poured my heart out after learning Tina wanted to marry me. What a joke. She could divorce me now, but she doesn't, and that baffles me. Eric smirked. Because you're useful. Tina's at a crucial point in her career. If people knew she dumped her savior, what would they say? Ben, you've already made it tough for her once. Don't do it again. Okay? All these plots, who knows if your parents' fatal accident was karma. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I threw the coffee in his face. He can say anything he wants. But he shouldn't have mentioned my deceased parents. Ben, what are you doing? Tina rushed to stand in front of Eric. I pointed at him. He insulted my parents. Eric looked embarrassed. I didn't. I was just explaining our past. He's the one. Tina glared at me, apologize. I stared at them for a moment and then laughed. All right. Before I apologize, can I have a word with you? Tina didn't say anything, which meant she agreed. Come closer. There's something only you should hear. She leaned in, and smack, I slapped her hard. Let's get a divorce. Tina's face turned dark. Ben, I told you we can't get divorced. Is it that important to keep your reputation? I thought. But this time, I'm not willing to sacrifice my dignity for her. You can wait for the lawsuit then, I said, turning my wheelchair to leave, but she yanked me out with force, and I hit the ground. Tina's eyes were red. Divorce? Who would want you, a cripple, without me? I was stunned. I couldn't believe she said that. Wasn't I crippled because of her? Tina was furious. Yes, you saved me, and I owe you. Didn't you think it brought pressure on me? You want a medal for it? I would rather be the one disabled. Can you imagine the pressure of owing you my life? She was frustrated, oblivious to the pressure she felt after the accident. I'd rather you hadn't saved me. I was dumbfounded, humiliated beyond words, and lost control of my bladder. Seeing this, Tina quickly picked me up and put me back in the wheelchair. Look at you now, what can you do without me? Her disdain was obvious as she covered me with her coat. I'll take you back. Think it over. Tina called a taxi, and the driver was a chubby middle-aged guy. She gave him a little extra tip to push me home after the ride. He sensed I was in a bad mood and gave me a hang-in-there gesture before leaving, saying, Bro, there's always hope in life. He probably thought I'd kill myself. But I wouldn't. Not after the text I received from a stranger half an hour ago. It was a screenshot of a chat. Tina, Ben is dead set on divorcing you. Your loving wife act won't work anymore. But hey, if one road's blocked, find another. Remember Lily? She loves playing with disabled guys. Ben fits, right? Once he's divorcing you, use this chance to accuse him of cheating. That way, you won't be the villain who abandoned her savior. There was more, and Tina's reply of okay shattered my hope. Ruthless. She blamed me for saving her, yet she milked my last ounce of value. I don't know who sent it, but I owe them thanks. Ben, I'm back. Tina returned, reeking of alcohol. She teetered and crouched before me. Sorry, I was wrong today. Can we not divorce? I looked at her calmly and smiled gently. Sure. Really? I nodded, offering her a cup of hot milk. I was wrong too. Drink this milk, sober up. I booked tickets to the Maldives for tomorrow. Let's travel. Okay? Tina panicked, then hesitated. Tomorrow? We'll talk about it then. Okay. I smiled, pushing the milk toward her. The pills worked fast. Tina passed out as I expected. Took me 2 hours to hack her legs off with all the trouble of not walking. She woke up screaming mid-process, forcing me to gag her with a towel. She shook her head. Sure, I'm not going to kill you. Just taking your legs. You never valued them anyway. She whimpered, probably begging. I slapped the chat screenshot on her face. She quieted down, lost to pain and desperation. By dawn, I finally cut off her legs. The knife wasn't sharp anymore. Tina fainted and woke several times. I removed the towel from her mouth once I was done. She barely had any strength left. Enough. I stuffed it back. I wasn't in the mood for more talk. My epiphany came too late. My life was ruined when I lost my legs. If she wanted to destroy me completely, I'd destroy her first. I lit a coal fire in the room, cradling the whimpering Tina to sleep. It was satisfying. Taking a monstrous human off the earth was a kind of redemption for me. I didn't expect to wake up again. That familiar tingle in my legs made my eyes widen. I'm reborn. Back before the accident. I jumped up, scaring the guys in the lab. Hey, you okay? I looked at my legs, mumbled a few words, realizing I'm back in my second year of grad school. I chose Tina's major to be with her, tried all ways to join her group. But the accident made me quit. Feeling the power in my legs made me tremble with excitement. It was May 8th, 1:27 p.m., 10 minutes before the ceiling collapsed. I used to push Tina away, saving her at the expense of being crushed. Ben, what's wrong? A big hand touched my forehead. It was Tina. Got a fever? Want me to get you excused? I instinctively backed away from her hand, and she looked hurt. Our weird exchange caught others' attention. Lovers' quarrel? I usually chased Tina, who neither accepted nor rejected outright, so everyone joked we were a couple. No, she has a boyfriend. We're nothing. I quickly denied it. Tina is bad luck to me in this life. Tina looked a bit startled this time, hearing about her secret boyfriend. She whispered, lowering her voice. Then, is there some misunderstanding between us? I looked at her and suddenly realized what was off between us. Tina had a boyfriend at the time, but she still acted all flirty with me. Even when I called her out, she wouldn't admit it. She wanted an exciting fling without letting go of the way I treated her. Turns out the person I once liked was no good from the start. Watch out. A shout interrupted my thoughts. The ceiling started falling apart, like in a past life. Tina just happened to be standing right under it. I was just on the edge of the falling debris area. Last time, I pushed Tina out of harm's way. This time, I ran to safety. Then, Tina called out, incredulous. The next moment, the ceiling came crashing down. Tina screamed and then passed out. Out of moral obligation, I called 911 for her. The doctor said Tina's legs were done for. She'd be in a wheelchair from then on. I barely held in my laughter. Ben, why didn't you save me? Tina groaned, her voice hoarse and filled with tears. Like I was the bad guy. You could have pushed me away. I tilted my head. Tina, quit pretending. I know you're back too. Before we got married, Tina never called me like that. And just now, she asked why I didn't save her. Caught. Embarrassment spread across Tina's face. She wanted the moral high ground to guilt-trip me. I sat beside her, gently tapping her leg. Tina, your legs are gone. Remember what you told me before? You said I begged you to save me. Did anyone ask if I wanted it? I'd have rather it been me. I smiled at her. But you didn't want that, did you? Congrats on getting what you wanted. You don't have to feel guilty for me anymore. You've only lost your legs, but you're free of unnecessary burdens. Tina sat there stunned, her face a chaotic mix of emotions. Ben, how didn't I see you were a psycho before? Can't you tell what's just talk? She looked just like she did before when she shamelessly claimed she didn't need saving. If I save her, she blames me. I don't save her. She still blames me. I was furious and slapped her. You know I'm crazy, and yet you still talk back. Want to lose another leg? At my words, Tina flinched. So much had happened in quick succession. She almost forgot how she met her end last time. Am I mad? I've always hated guys like you. At least this time, there's no forced connection. She struggled to regain her pride. 10 minutes later, Mike hurried in, looking exhausted. Tina's dad was out of town on business and couldn't come back. Poor guy had to deal with this news alone. Don't be too upset. At least she's still alive. I gave a token consolation. In the past life, he wasn't bad to me, but not overly good either. He treated me like a son before the wedding. But after, his sympathy couldn't withstand time and Tina's endless complaints. So when her cousin bullied me, he just looked the other way. Ben, keep your cool, Tina anxiously warned, not wanting her dad to worry. But now she couldn't even turn over on her own. Ben, her mom and I are so busy. Thank you for being here for Tina. Tina's father tearfully clutched my hand. I know you have feelings for Tina. In this situation, he couldn't continue. I understood what he meant. He was worried Tina would end up alone, just like he'd once worried about me. I spoke up without hesitation. Uncle, I only see Tina as a sister, plus she has a boyfriend. Tina's father looked at her in disbelief. Is what Ben said true? Tina pressed her lips tightly. She didn't want to admit it so soon, but I forced her hand. I thoughtfully added I already called him. He's on his way. I don't want to be the third wheel breaking them up. Hope you understand. Just as I spoke, Eric appeared at the door in a white shirt, shocked and tearful like Tina's dad. He'd met Eric before. He didn't like him much, since Eric came from a family with 2 sisters and a brother, not suitable for his daughter. But now wasn't the time to say much, so he awkwardly excused himself to get food. Seeing Eric, Tina avoided eye contact. Ben, you shouldn't have called him. I can't face him like this. Before she could finish, a faint yellow stain spread across the sheets. Instinctively, Eric stepped back with a hint of disgust in his eyes. Tina saw it and her pride took a hit. Ben, she pleaded with her eyes. I stayed unmoved. What? You think I'll help with that? Your boyfriend's here. Isn't that more appropriate? Finishing with Tina, I turned to Eric. I've heard a bit about your love story. So passionate it's supposed to last a lifetime, right? If that's the case, you should start learning to care for someone who's disabled. Under my pressure and moral lecturing, Eric reluctantly helped Tina to the bathroom and shut the door hard. I didn't miss the look of resentment on his face and I grinned inwardly. Last time, it was me who met with misfortune. They got to bask in their unattainable noble love. But separated by circumstance, can they hold strong against real-life pressures? After telling Tina's dad a few things, I left. She had her dad and a boyfriend. No need for me to hang around. I went back to my normal life, attending classes as usual. I could walk freely, run freely, and the feeling of long-lost freedom was intoxicating. I heard Tina's not giving up. Every day I'm doing rehab exercises. Sadly, nothing's improving. Tina's dad hits me up every now and then. Between the lines, you can feel his disappointment with Eric. Basically, he's saying Eric isn't as good at taking care of Tina as I am. Even Tina wants to reach out to me, but I've blocked her contact. 3 months later, I was out eating with some buddies from the same group and ran into Tina and them. Eric was pushing Tina toward us, and neither of them looked happy. Eric was busy scolding Tina and hadn't noticed me. "What are you doing here, useless? Trying to embarrass yourself?" He spat. His tone was such a stark contrast to the sweet guy he used to be. But I don't blame him for snapping. I did a bit of digging. Turns out, all that lovey-dovey stuff from Tina was just part of Eric's plan. He came from a rough family and was looking for a well-off woman who wasn't too smart to change his fate. Tina was the perfect match. Back then I blocked him. In this life, though, she was the one being looked down upon, turning red with anger. "I'm useless? Then what am I supposed to know what you and your friends say about me?" Tina said, her face flushed with anger. Eric sneered. "They called you useless, a woman who's good for nothing. Are they wrong? Look at yourself. You can't even go to the bathroom without my help. What can you do? If it wasn't to escape that family, who'd want to be with someone like you?" Tina trembled. "What did you just say?" Eric ignored her seething gaze. "Had I known taking care of such a useless person was this much of a hassle, I would have picked someone else," he said. Tina yelled, "Divorce? Before we actually have a wedding?" So they were already married. I guess Mike was aware of his sister's situation and hadn't given them much of a choice. Eric coldly shoved her. "Divorce? You think I don't want to? Serving you for 3 months is making me sick. If it wasn't for your damn mom, you think I'd marry you?" To see what's beneath the facade was shocking, but someone like Eric and Tina were just fitting. I couldn't keep myself from laughing out loud. They finally noticed me. Eric, seeing I was there, quickly ditched Tina. "This hot potato. Perfect timing, take your sister," Eric said. During Tina and Eric's secret fling, she always introduced me as her brother. Eric glanced at Tina indifferently. "I'm going back to the party. Don't mess things up for me," and walked off without a glance, leaving me and Tina facing each other. She was in the same mess I had been. "Tina, remember how your friends used to talk about me?" Tina turned her head, her body trembling slightly. "Sorry, I didn't know." I interrupted her. "You knew everything. You just didn't care unless it happened to you. Cheer up, Eric hasn't treated you that badly. He just cursed at you. You didn't end up with the old ladies with quirky hobbies, did you?" I meant to comfort her, but her face turned ghostly pale. "No, Ben, listen to me, I never meant to hurt you. I had everything planned. The room was set with knockout incense. He'd be out cold before doing anything. We just had to pretend the next day." She was explaining, animatedly, until she saw my icy gaze. Actually, back then I did kind of fall for you," she whispered. Slap. I hit her as hard as I could, and a few more times for good measure. "Ben?" Tina shrieked in anger, but she couldn't fight back. Holding back my fury. "How dare you mention love? Giving me away to other women is love. Letting your friends humiliate me is love. Two-timing is love. It's not that you love me, you just found yourself useless. Fell out of your first love. You just wanted someone who would wholeheartedly be by your side. Can someone as selfish as you even use the word love?" After that day, Tina didn't reach out again. My life got better and better. Occasionally, someone would bring up Tina, how poorly she's doing. I heard Eric's decent enough to her around Mike, but he'd beat and cuss at her behind closed doors. Why Tina takes such crap in silence is beyond me. Maybe she really loves Eric. Mike called me a few times, implicitly treating me like a confidant. Said, "That Eric, I can't believe I thought he was such a kind soul. Turns out he's got a heart of darkness." "Ben, bro, it would have been so much better if it was you marrying her." I just chuckled. "Don't say that. Tina and I are siblings." Mike probably pouted over the phone. "You're not actually siblings, just raised together for a few years. Didn't even share a household register." "Ben, why don't you crash the wedding? It's early next month." Hearing him, I flinched, remembering before Tina and I got married. Mike wasn't so malicious. After we married, he suddenly changed, growing closer with Eric. Now Eric, about to marry Tina. Could it mean? Casually, I asked Mike, "You don't like?" Before I finished, there were immediate denials from the other end. "No way, how could I ever like Tina?" Silence hung between us, and Mike stammered, "All right, maybe a little, but she's my sister, it's impossible. So I want to find her a good brother-in-law, Ben, you sure you won't consider my sister? I laughed, brushing him off, saving the recording as I spoke. I'll be there, I said. Mike whooped in excitement. A month later, I showed up at the wedding. As I arrived at the location, Tina was being pushed out by Eric to greet the guests. Probably feeling embarrassed, she gritted her teeth. You really had to drag me here? Eric smacked her on the back of the head. Keep talking, and I'll rip that mouth of yours. Didn't expect their relationship to sour so bad. But for them to still go through with the wedding, thanks to Tina's dad who seemed bent on tormenting Eric. When Tina was okay, he wouldn't stand for a guy from Eric's background going near his sister. But now Tina's incapacitated. Well-off families naturally wouldn't marry their daughters off to her fiancé. Tina's dad used to eye me as her future husband. But a few months ago, Tina was bent on being with Eric. Now she's too embarrassed to ask me to take her back. Eric's family is all about the money, right? So, Tina's dad just threw $300K their way, practically buying Eric. Eric's folks took the cash and happily handed over his household registration booklet. At first, Eric was willing to play along and take care of Tina for the money. But after the wedding, he realized he was outright purchased by her family. Uncle Tom wasn't going to give him a single dime either. Divorce? No way. Wasn't it supposed to be epic love? Well, guess it's more like a locked-in deal. Tina spotted me. She watched from a distance, her eyes on my legs, like she missed them. Her dad remained MIA, a blatant slap to Eric. But I don't get it. Did Tina's family give up on her too? Sitting at the family table, Mike caught my eye and secretly gave me an okay gesture. It was part of his plan. Air out all the moments between Tina and me midway through the wedding. According to Mike, Tina's got feelings for me, and that would supposedly lead her to regret and maybe even call it quits on the spot. It would mess up the wedding and humiliate Eric big time. Of course, Mike left out the fact that it would put me in an awkward spot too. His scheme was so loud I had to play along quietly. Oh hey, isn't that Tina's little sidekick? That familiar voice. I turned around and saw the friend who used to make it tough for me when Tina was around. Tisk, you've got that look. Can't get over something useless. Huh? You got some kind of thing for broken projects? His words were insolent, disrespecting both me and Tina. Leo, if you don't want to eat, scram. Tina appeared beside me without me noticing, yelling at her ex-friend. Leo sized us up dismissively. You think you're some big deal? Look at you, pathetic. Feeling sorry yet? Well, your dad already took your 12-year-old sister home. Turns out, Tina's got a sibling out of nowhere. Surprise, surprise. Seems like her dad's finally given up on her. As for Uncle Tom, whatever. Leo, get out. Tina was nearly at her breaking point, but she couldn't get up and hit him. Leo, despite being chucked out by Tina, just plopped down again. Get out. What's your deal now? Eric came rushing over and gave Tina's lifeless leg a quick kick. You don't think you've embarrassed me enough today? Huh? Eric threw verbal jabs at Tina again. Give her a break, man. Show some respect in public. Leo laughed out loud. Besides, the old flame's here too, he said, with a glance my way. I wasn't looking to cause any more drama, but Leo's as low as ever. From this life or the last. I grabbed the wine and splashed it on him, warning him with a cold look. How you treat Tina, that's your business. But you better keep your filth away from me. Otherwise, I don't mind spilling your little secrets. Like about that John thing. Back in the day, Leo was all about hooking up folks with twisted tastes. That John. The one he set up for Tina back then. Hearing John's name dropped, Leo fell silent fast. Ben, Tina choked out my name. I'm sorry. I had no idea life after being disabled was like. Her confession was cut off by a giant screen suddenly lighting up. I spotted Mike rising with excitement. Tina, why don't you go crash the wedding? Just set it for the 10th of next month. Mike, you don't have a crush or anything, do you? Come on. How could I possibly like Tina? Yeah, maybe a bit, but she's my sis, dude. No way that'd happen. I just want to give her a good guy, you know? The screen didn't show a video, but Mike and my chat came through loud and clear to everyone present. The wedding took an even more chaotic turn. Mike screamed to shut it down, while Eric lunged at him, starting a fistfight. He cursed as others struggled to pull him away. Couldn't help but marvel. Growing up in such a misogynistic family? Yeah, what did you expect? Thinking about our peaceful chat over dinner, it all just seemed too ironic now. Amidst the clamor, I slipped away quietly. Behind me, I could still hear Ben calling my name. The rest I heard from folks. After Mike's little crush got revealed, his parents raised hell with their sister's family. They thought Tina must have crossed some line for Mike's feelings to get all twisted. Already disappointed in Tina, the family finally gave up on her entirely. Fortunately, that alleged girl's mom passed early on. Might as well treat her like their own and build up some real affection. Eric was coming unhinged, his reputation completely shattered. He wanted out, but Tina's family wasn't letting go. They blamed him for ruining their daughter. If it wasn't for him messing with Tina's head, Tina and I would have been a perfect match. My feelings for Tina were deep enough that I would have never ignored her in that accident. If someone had to lose their legs, let it be me. Marrying her would have been a noble cause for fame. Tina's family would have relished that. Half a year later, Tina ended it all, taking Eric with her. Word was Eric got involved with Leo, secretly handed Tina over to a creep with sick tastes. Waking up broke Tina mentally. Her cries of regret were mixed with curses on Eric, saying he deserved to die in misery. In her last incoherent moments, she wished for another chance to make it right. She'd choose Ben without hesitation. She hired someone to sneak into her home, swapping out Eric's vitamins with sleeping pills. While Eric slept, she set the house ablaze. Burned away with myself. After Tina passed away, I got a letter. It was from Mike. I figured it was just some empty apologies. Didn't even bother opening it. Just tossed it straight into the trash. Do it all over again? No way. Life doesn't give second chances to bad guys. Even if it did, no matter how many times it repeats, I wouldn't budge for her again. I have clear goals in my life. I'm only focused on becoming a better version of myself.